Okay, so we're going to give a little update here on the two Spillers bikes here that I've got. KC Spiller Senior's vintage drag bikes. Kind of a little follow-up. Got them all cleaned up. Got them ready to start. Got new batteries in them. Everything's cleaned up, checked out, and ready to fire. So hopefully here in the next hour or so we'll be popping these things off and letting everybody hear them, which I'm just as excited as anyone would be to hear these bikes run after all these years. But if you watched my earlier video, it's kind of going over some of the goodies that we brought home from KC Spiller Senior's basement. A lot of the parts, bits, pieces, nitromethane. I think there's 12 gallons of nitro, and of course the bikes that we brought home. KC passed away last March. You know, great man, great racer, had a lot of really innovative ideas. You know, and built all his own stuff, maintained all his own bikes. Just a wonderful story, and if you were familiar with KC, if you're one of the older guys who's been around this for a lifetime, and you're watching this video, I'd really appreciate some, you know, a little bit of feedback down below where you can share a story or two about KC's glory days on the drag strip. It'd really be cool to keep this story alive and keep the bikes going for future generations, because, you know, the drag bike racing, due to unfortunate circumstances with insurance and, you know, track problems and, you know, track insurance, and a lot of the guys just getting older, and not enough young guys showing an interest in it. You know, it's kind of a dying breed, and I'd love it if we could kind of keep things going here and keep an interest built up. But anyway, I was going to give kind of a, you know, basically the extent of my knowledge on these two bikes. This is a Sandy Cosman chassis bike here. This was a world record holder that Kenny owned and raced. Just a beautiful bike. Real simple build. You know, just a great bike all the way around. Of course, it's a Sunny Route motor, a big bore motor. It's got twin Delortos on it. You know, check that out. You know, he wrote down his inlet jet and his main jet you know, models on the side, so he knew which jets he was running for what track. And of course, that's his stool, you know, that Kenny would do all his work on, and if he wasn't working on his bike sitting on that, one of his daughters or his sons was hanging out with him in the pits. Such a great story. Got twin leading stabilizers up here. Got a Smith's tachometer. Running a disc brake up front, and I think that's a Grameca brake setup. But just an old school Avon Speedmaster. Of course, this is the cover for it, for this long bike. Every little detail is just so cool, you know, how he built this bike, and it's just an absolute beauty. He even cut off a Kendall sticker to make it Ken for his first name. That's really awesome. But if you're into this, if you're into the vintage bikes, you're gonna have an appreciation for this. Some people may not, but I think it's just amazing. Of course, that's KC's helmet right there. And if you didn't watch the previous video, I got a bunch of pictures I'll share with you sometime. But this is Sunny Route right here, and this is KC Spillers right there. They were back in the day. They were both running pre-unit bikes, drag bikes, and you know, different things. KC didn't get the credit that he deserved for being the first person to develop the motorcycle wheelie bars. And you know, another guy came along, took the idea, patented it, and like you've heard so many times before in history, kind of ran off with it, and KC was kind of left in the dust. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as his family is concerned, he developed and engineered the first wheelie bars for these bikes. But anyway, this bike here is an oil and frame bike. It's another really cool bike that he ran. This was a world record holder. This bike here was a multi-track record holder. I think it had gone, I think the last record that it had was 1166 and a 770. He ran everywhere. I mean, he ran up north, northern Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, oh gosh, Charlotte, Gainesville. I mean, you name it, and he was at the track racing these bikes. This bike here is another really period bike. You know, just it's still running the stock drum brakes on the front. Got single side steering stabilizer, fiberglass tank with a really cool floral pattern inside that Triumph inlay, which is really cool. Beautiful Sunny Route big bore motor again here. This thing ought to sound pretty awesome too. Twin Delortos with the with the mains and pilots written down on there. If you'll notice on the tank here, which is kind of cool, there's old remnants of Steve Boyce. Steve Boyce's name there. I'm not sure how Steve ties into this, but if you Google Steve Boyce, I've seen a lot of information on him where he was a drag boat racer, and you know, I'm not sure if KC bought the tank and tail section off of Steve and put it on this bike, or if Steve actually owned and raced this bike before KC had it and raced it. So I'm not real sure on that. But such detail went into this bike. I mean, Kenny wasn't one to cut corners, obviously. Everything was done really nice, clean, and neat. You know, there was nothing, no bolt left unpolished and untorqued. Everything was done right. You know, the kind of craftsmanship that's hard to find now, you know, nowadays. And I love this this stop right here. This is some material off of an old, looks like a kitchen chair that was just nailed to it. But anyway, a lot of great history right here. To the people that appreciate history like this, it's a really cool bike. But here in the next few days, we'll take a little bit more time and we'll fire these things up and give everybody a good opportunity to hear what real big bore Sunny Route Triumphs sound like after being stored for so many years. And hopefully we'll get them fired off and aggravate some neighbors. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll be back here in the next day or two and give you a little bit of a sound test. Thanks for watching.